Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, WinThisOnline.com, and Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Very, very good. Got a lot of fun, exciting stuff to talk about on this edition of the John and Heidi Show. Engineers at General Motors are developing a smart headlight that beams light precisely where the driver is looking. That's interesting.
Oh.
It's an invention that could improve visibility for night drivers. According to the Huffington Post report, a camera scans your eyes when you're driving and other points of the face more than 50 times a second. Based on scanned data, electronic motors then change the direction of the headlights.
Oh.
Officials say another benefit is that the eye tracker doesn't have to be individually calibrated for a particular driver. The system works perfectly with anybody behind the wheel, no matter what their size. It's kind of interesting.
Don't you think that would drive other cars nuts? The car's coming at you. Your headlights are going back and forth and back and forth.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's the deal. That driver has ADD.
Bad idea.
I think you could.
And I would do that on purpose just to mess with people. I'd just start going back and forth really fast so that my headlights are up and down, back and forth, around. Look at my nose.
I'm not sure if that's how it works. That's from General Motors. Hey, this is kind of a funny thing here since we're talking about cars. A New Jersey man carjacked a Porsche, but he didn't get very far because the Porsche was a stick shift and he couldn't drive a stick shift. So there you go. Who needs the club when you've got the stick, right? Right. Yeah. All right. You're listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Thanks for tuning in.
This segment of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you want to buy an RV, check it out. And if you want to sell an RV, check it out. Helping connect buyers and sellers at RVWheelator.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Ever throw money around when an attractive woman is watching? Well, maybe you haven't.
All the time.
Maybe you haven't. It says here, men are more generous around attractive women, according to a new study. That's why I'm always so generous around
Did
you.
anybody need a study for that? I mean, seriously.
Oh, apparently. British researchers, it's those guys over in Britain, they found that men contributed more winnings to charity when they were being watched by a beautiful woman than when they were playing alone or being watched by another man. Men may be showing off to potential mates, according to the report, which my reply is, duh.
Yeah.
What did you think they were doing?
That's so stupid.
They may be
Some
showing off.
of the studies that are done just baffle me.
Yeah, that's
there's nothing more pressing or important that we could
these guys
use right now in our world.
They're working hard on this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what the people need.
It is what we need to know.
This is what the people need. Hey, coming up later in the program, I'm going to boot you out of the studio because I'm going to be taking a phone call and chatting with an author. I've got the author of a book. Listen to the name of this book. Toddlers Are A Holes.
I'm actually kind of excited to read this particular book.
I've got a copy of it here. We'll be giving that away as well at WinThisOnline.com. But I'll be chatting with the author in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. If you have stuff you'd like to give away, do it for free. Check out the website WinThisOnline.com. It's also free to win stuff. Register today for your free account at WinThisOnline.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Residents and visitors have voted Philadelphia the city with the least attractive people.
Whoa.
That kind of stinks.
How would you like to win that title?
I don't even like this story. That's terrible. According to a survey by Travel and Leisure, they say the city of brotherly love also ranked as the least stylish, least attractive, least friendly, and the least worldly by 60,000 respondents who ranked 30 cities in several categories ranging from food to nightlife to culture. On the bright side, the beauty of the museums and the art galleries, that's kind of good. It was enough to boost Philly into the third spot for the historical sites and monuments section. So they got that going for them.
Huh.
Because apparently they're,
Poor Philadelphia.
They got beautiful artwork.
I kind of want to go there now just to see if there really are a bunch of ugly people walking around.
Excuse me, do you know where the museum is? All right.
Ugly people grunt now.
Thank you, Igor. I don't know. I have no idea. It said they weren't friendly, and they were the least worldly, whatever that is. So I'm just imagining Quasimodo. I have no clue. All right. Thanks for listening on a Thursday. It's the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program brought to you by DirecTV. Sign up today at 1-800-259-7646. That's 1-800-259-7646.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I've heard of them. They're famous. That's right, Mike. They are.
There's trouble down there in North Platte, Nebraska. You know what the problem is?
What's the problem?
Wedgies.
What?
North Platte, Nebraska Police Department recently received a 911 call after a neighborhood bully, gave another kid a wedgie. The officer was able to calm the situation. No arrests were made. A police spokesperson says, you might get away with that in Lincoln or Omaha, but we're not allowing wedgies here in North Platte.
Well, you got to draw the line somewhere.
See the sign on the edge of town? No wedgies allowed.
Goodness.
Right there. That's the one. You better watch out, kids.
Might be able to get away with this in Lincoln.
Yeah. No wedgies on these parts. Hey, one other quick thing here. John W. Hill of Highview, West Virginia, was arrested near St. Louis when sheriffs and deputies stopped to investigate why he parked along I-70. He was shirtless. He was wearing an Indian vest, cargo pants, and combat boots. He had several loaded pistols and an assault rifle and a 2-shot Derringer, 2 long rifles, a serious Bowie knife, 400 rounds of ammo, and various drugs.
Holy crap. Where was he headed?
He was headed to, I'm not even kidding, he was headed to South Dakota, to Indian country, as he put it, to deliver supplies and a sack full of Bibles to Native Americans and their children. He was armed because, in his words, the West is dangerous.
Oh, my gosh.
Really? Thank you for the Bibles.
He clearly hasn't been to South Dakota before.
I'm glad that you're delivering Bibles, but I don't know that
I
all that other stuff was
maybe watched Dances with Wolves a few too many
Where does
times.
he think he's going? It's not like that.
It's not like that.
It's a great area. So, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
He was loaded to the hilt, though, wasn't he? That dude was set. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. It's a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by We Need Sponsors.
Hey, wait a minute. All right. I'll let you finish.
If my husband would go out and sell some advertising, I would have something to read here. Again, this portion of the program is brought to you by We Need Some Freaking Sponsors.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the scoop of the day. Are you ready, Heidi?
I am ready.
All right. Taco Bell has plans to start online delivery. What?
Online delivery?
Taco Bell CEO says the company is in the process of testing delivery and catering services. You'd have to go online.
Oh, you order online.
Apparently.
Okay.
Because
that makes sense.
When I'm in the have a hankering for tacos, the first thing I'm thinking is I'm going to log on and see if they'll cater something. I don't know. This is kind of interesting. A calf was born in northern Florida last week with 2 faces.
I saw that. It died.
It did?
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad.
It
because
ended up dying.
I was thinking it should run for political office. While waiting to get their licenses renewed at the Department of Motor Vehicles, a couple of California teens befriended a man standing in front of them. And they asked him, hey, could you give us a ride somewhere when we're done here? And before the man could go anywhere, the boys pushed him out of the car and stole it.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't take police long to track him down, considering they just took their photo for their new licenses.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that didn't take them long. And when Gregory Caskey Jr. of Maryland was accused of violating the terms of his probation, his father, also named Gregory Caskey Jr., took the rap. He got a 4-year prison term.
Whoa.
Wasn't that big a deal, really, because the elder Caskey was already in jail for 20 years for assaulting with the intent to murder. When the judge discovered the mix-up, he had the younger Caskey brought in and put into custody as well. And when he asked what he thought of his father's actions, he said, it shows me he still cares. Because the dad was going to take those 4 years for him. He's like, yeah, just add him to my 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm already in here. I'll do it.
I'll take 4 more. That was nice of him.
4 more years.
Yeah, that's not quite what... I don't think that doesn't quite work here. A man on house arrest asked police to put him in jail rather than serve the remainder of his sentence at home with his wife. Santino Gambino, that is his name. That's cool. That sounds like a video game character.
It does.
He was serving a sentence for dumping hazardous waste at his house.
So like he changed his oil maybe?
I don't know what he did, but this is in Sicily, just outside of the capital. After being home with his wife, he went to the police station and said, "Can you just please put me in jail to avoid more arguments?" And Richard Francesco, a blind snack bar vendor at the state courthouse in Rhode Island, clerk of courts handed him a dollar bill and told him it was a 20. Richard ran it through a scanner, which alerted him to the discrepancy. Then he called security. The clerk has now been arrested and fired. They were trying to steal from a blind man. That's too bad. So he's got a scanner. This guy apparently didn't know that. So they're like, yeah, here's a 20. And he scanned it, and it was a 1. That's not nice.
Yeah, well,
and
you would almost have to have something like that, though, if you were a blind vendor. You'd have to.
Now it's time to end with our strange law.
All right.
And this one is from the state of Nebraska. In the state of Nebraska, a parent can be arrested if his or her child cannot hold back a burp during a church service. We lived in Nebraska.
That is not enforced.
I know, but it is illegal. So if your child burps in church, you could be arrested.
Well, hey.
There you go. Good to know.
You got to have rules.
Okay. Can't even imagine what led to that rule. But this has been your Scoop of the Day. We've got an author. We're going to be chatting with a young lady about a book called Toddlers Are A Holes. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program brought to you by BillionAuto.com. If you're looking to buy a car, they have a bunch of them. Maybe 1 billion. No guarantees on that. But I will guarantee you'll find a lot of cars at BillionAuto.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Thursday. Heidi, I got a telephone call that I get to take right now, so I'm going to let you play Candy Crush while I jump on the phone. How's that sound?
Ah, I like that.
All right, so you sit over there and have some fun while I jump on the line, because I'm going to talk to an author. I have Boomy Loditon, the author of The Honest Toddler, which is a cool book. It's a child's guide to life and contributes to the Huffington Post, Mommyish, and Parenting, a bunch of other sites too. And there's a new book that Boomy has. It's called Toddlers Are A Holes. I know that kind of took you for a loop, didn't it? It took me for a loop. Toddlers Are A Holes. It's not your fault. And joining us on the phone right now, we have Boomy. Good morning, Boomy. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. First of all, I got to tell you, this is a funny title for a book. Toddlers Are A-holes. That kind of catches you off guard a little bit. Now, there's got to be a story behind that. What was the reason for the title?
You know, it just came about. I have 3 kids. My oldest is 9. My middle child is 5.5. My youngest is just heading into that toddler stage. And as I was kind of deciding what book I was going to write, I decided I really wanted to write something that spoke to the parents who, you know, are up at 3 a.m. with their toddler who is refusing to go to sleep until they can have a pajama costume change, essentially, as they so often ask for, or who just slapped them in the face in front of their mother-in-law. And I wanted to speak to that exhausted, fed-up crowd.
That's awesome. And I guarantee you that is going to resonate, that title, with that crowd in particular. I know that you mean it out of love, because as a mother with children, you know that, you know, the kids are going through that phase, but at the end of the day, they don't mean to be that way. They just do.
Yeah, they don't mean it at all. It's just a developmental stage, you know, where they go from this sweet little baby in their onesie sitting in the little, you know, the saucer, to this toddler who has realized that I have some power now. I'm going to flip this dinner plate. Because our frustration, I'm convinced they love that look of frustration. It delights them.
Now, we've got Mother's Day sneaking up this weekend, and in the book, you can kind of tell us what do moms really want for Mother's Day. You kind of know what we're looking for out there?
Yes, all moms want. While we will happily accept and fawn over the cards with crayon and the macaroni necklaces, all we really want is 4 or 5 hours to ourselves. That's it.
And
so Dad is somewhere. Don't call us and leave us alone.
That sounds so simple.
It's so simple. It's so easy.
So give mom the gift of time. Get out of the way and let her have some time.
Just a little time where no one's asking for a snack or needs help in the bathroom, or, you know, no one's fighting over a piece of string, as my kids like, just like a piece of plastic. That's priceless to us.
Very nice. Now, also in the book, Toddlers Are A-holes. It's not your fault. You talk about how to repay mom for the real cost of raising a child. Now, how do you do that?
I mean, the way to repay mom, I think that parents get repaid once their children have toddlers. That's the best way, because I don't think there's anything a grandparent enjoys like watching their child struggle with their own.
Yeah.
I think they take like just a little bit of joy, when they see that. It's like, there you are. That's that sacred revenge I was looking for.
Well, and in particular, I remember when I was a child, my mom used to say, I hope when you have kids, I hope they do this. And then all of a sudden I have kids and they did exactly that. I was like, and my mother's words were ringing in my ears. I'm like, wow, how did she know they were going to do that?
It happens, the full circle moment where you find yourself even sounding like your parents. I say the same things that my parents said, the same things. It's crazy. Like, if you don't eat your food, do you want to grow? Do you want to stay the same size forever? Just ridiculous thing. We parrot it.
Now, you say that you got some dirty tricks, some little tricks and dirty ways to coax your toddler into eating. What are these tricks? And we're going to learn about those in the book fully, but tell me a little bit about them now.
Well, one trick is to these are all tongue-in-cheek, but toddlers love floor food. Anything on the floor, I think the floor is their version of a marinade. They like dirty things. My kid once ate half a grape off of the mall floor.
Oh.
And this was when it was packed. I tried to get to her. I couldn't. I was convinced she was going to get, a terrible disease, but she was fine. Floor food. If you think your toddler is not eating enough food, don't freak out, because the reason they grow is because they will go between those couch cushions and they'll find that Cheeto from 3 months ago and they'll eat it. So they will hit those percentile weight and height marks because they're always foraging like beasts of the wild.
Things that they're not supposed to eat, but they find it somehow and they'll eat it.
And those are their favorite foods.
There you go. Now, you say there's a special bond between grandparents and grandchildren because they have a common enemy. First of all, who's that common enemy?
Parents. They both have this person who they have a history with. The parent who is taking utter delight in their sweet angel perfect, how dare you complain about my grandbaby child, and then the child who goes to the grandparent for refuge from this terrible rule-making dictator of a parent. So they bond over that.
There you go. Well, I do feel like they team up on us once in a while, don't they?
Oh, they really do. When my mom comes to visit from the States, and I'm telling the kids, okay, no, don't do that, or I'm putting them in timeout. She's like, come here, baby. Oh, I know, mommy can be mean sometimes, and she loves it.
Very nice. Well, I certainly appreciate you taking some time to chat with us. I know you got a lot of calls you're making this morning, but I want to talk about your book, Toddlers Are A Holes. It's not your fault. I just love saying that because I feel like I'm saying something wrong on the radio. But where can I find a copy of this book, and when is it available?
Well, it's available now, and you can find it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and indie bookstores, anywhere that books are sold.
And the cool thing is, with Mother's Day this weekend, if you know a mother that has a toddler, get this book. This is the perfect book. And I have a copy of it here that we're going to be giving away, but it is such a fun book. Just looking through it, it's the way you put it together. It's a very fun book to read. So good job on that.
Thank you.
And again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this morning. You have a great day, and happy Mother's Day a few days early.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Definitely. Again, our guest today has been Bhumi Laditon, and she is the author of Toddlers Are A Holes, available at Barnes & Nobles and everywhere books are sold. Get out there and get that. It would be an awesome gift to give a mother for Mother's Day. Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club.
I use their razors, and I absolutely love them. And if you would like to try some razors and get a little special discount and get me a little extra credit, check out dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall. I love their razors. I use them all the time.
I've tried to use them. He won't let me touch them.
Yeah, leave my razors alone. Get your own razors. They're dirt cheap. Go check them out. dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall, and you're going to absolutely love them.
Again, this portion of the program brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I've heard of them. They're famous. That's right, Mike. They are.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
What today is, let me look at my calendar over here. It's the 7th day. There we go. It's the 7th day of, what month is it? March.
Should you really be in
May?
charge of this?
Yeah, I don't. I'm lost. It's the National Day of Prayer. That's cool.
That is cool.
But it's also the National Day of Reason. You know what that is?
No.
It's the atheist response to the National Day of Prayer.
Oh.
So they're like, hey, if you have your National Day of Prayer, we have our National Day of Reason. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Whatever.
Cosmopolitan Day is today as well.
Oh.
So you could
Like
go
drinks.
celebrate with a cosmopolitan.
I like that.
National Barrier Awareness Day. So quit bumping into things out there. National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day.
My goodness.
And
Lots of things today.
National Day to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy Day. So there you go.
Shouldn't that be every day?
I think it should as well.
Really?
All of those things are going on today. So there you go. Thank you so much for listening. It's also, for many people, just a regular old Thursday. So enjoy that. And we appreciate you tuning in to the John and Heidi Show.
This segment of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you want to buy an RV, check it out. And if you want to sell an RV, check it out. Helping connect buyers and sellers at RVWheelator.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
A study by Dr. Richard S. Sambialo says walking in the mall is a better way to burn calories than walking outside.
Really?
I can already think of some flaws in that study.
Yeah.
Is there a food court in this mall?
Oh, yeah.
He claims women naturally walk faster in a mall and they burn more calories. The professor of psychology at Damon College in New York says malls are familiar and safe places, which helps women get a better workout. Malls offer security, a well-lit path, bathrooms, water fountains, and telephones. Plus, he says that malls have organized walking groups many times to help keep you motivated as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I agree
probably
with all that.
fewer mosquitoes in the summertime, less snow in the wintertime.
And it's temperature controlled, so there's no heat.
And when you're done, you can reward yourself with a little shopping.
Yeah.
And a giant
and
Cinnabon.
A smoothie.
That might actually not work so hot. All right, thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by WinThisOnline.com. If you have stuff you'd like to give away, do it for free. Check out the website WinThisOnline.com. It's also free to win stuff. Register today for your free account at WinThisOnline.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Dr. Paul Hackmeyer, Chief of Medical Staff at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in L.A., has begun a course to teach doctors how to write quickly and legibly. So if you get a doctor
Legibly would be
doctor
helpful.
that's not a very good writer, you might want to sign him up.
Most of them do write quickly. I think the
Yeah.
legibly thing is the more important factor here.
2 different handwriting experts from Oregon will hold a one-day course in the hospital on cursive writing. Better handwriting will help everyone, Hackmeyer says. Not only the patients, but the nurses, too, and the secretaries who have field phone calls all the time and questions from pharmacists trying to decipher what in the world the doctor was trying to say. This could save lives. Studies have shown that medication errors account for more than 7,000 deaths every year.
Yikes.
Every year. One woman won a lawsuit because her husband died taking the wrong medication because the doctor's handwriting was illegible on the prescription.
Oh, my goodness.
So here's the thing. I have a question. This may be a simple question.
Yeah, if the doctor's handwriting was illegible, shouldn't the pharmacists have called and said, I don't know what this says?
Yeah, but
instead of just guessing.
Here's another thing. Couldn't the prescriptions be typed? Couldn't that?
Yeah. Well, I bet those would be pretty easy to forge if they were typed.
There's got to be some better way than if this sounds like it's an epidemic. 7,000 deaths a year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is too many. That's way too many. So it's going to be interesting to see if this handwriting class catches on. I'm just saying, if you're a doctor, and I know we do have some doctors that listen, next time you write out a prescription, just take a deep breath, write it a little slower.
I know you're busy.
You got
I know
other
you got
areas.
patients waiting.
You got people waiting and all that stuff, but take a couple seconds to write it. If there are 7,000 a year dying, I'm hoping that it's not from the same doctors over and over and over. That would be really sad if you know that it's. But I'm just saying, if you know that you have bad handwriting,
Can't be one doctor responsible for 7,000 deaths.
I'm
in
not
a
saying
year.
one that did all of them, but I'm saying if there's one doctor that has such bad handwriting that it's killing people, then that person should get an assistant. I'm just
I
saying.
have a feeling that number is going to get worse. Have you seen the handwriting of today's youth?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
'Cause now-
my gosh.
Yeah, our son is graduating next weekend, and I saw his handwritten note. I was like, "What
He
is?
writes
What is
like
that?
a serial killer.
Are you? Is that a ransom note?" Oh, it's what you want from the grocery store. I see. All right, we'll check some other great stories out coming up here in a bit. It's the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program brought to you by DirecTV. Sign up today at 1-800-259-7646. That's 1-800-259-7646.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
First the smokes, now the donuts. Inmates at Ohio's Franklin County lockup are singing the jailhouse blues, Heidi. these inmates, they need more rights.
Oh, yeah.
County officials are deep sixing fattening treats now. Officials say eliminating the $55,000 annual donut contract is going to be good for the inmates' health. Every few weeks, the prisoners were treated to glazed and jelly-filled donuts. And crullers, too.
$55,000 a year in donuts for prisoners.
The inmates lost their smoking privileges when tobacco was banned in the county jail years before a state requirement took effect last year. So they banned it a long time ago. But now they're saying, no smoking for you, no donuts for you.
You're in prison. You're supposed to be punished.
Yeah.
Why are we giving them donuts anyway?
So they're saying, hey, if you don't like it, here's a good idea. Obey the law.
Don't go to prison.
Yeah, obey the law.
Good Lord.
There you go. Maybe that'll help. There's probably kids out there right now that they were thinking about breaking the law, but they're going, hey, you know what? If I break the law,
I won't get donuts.
no donuts. I mean, there you go. I'm not breaking the law anymore. All right. I got a couple of bizarre stories to share for you. And for those of you who have not yet checked out our podcast, we do a thing called a bonus break on the podcast. So check that out. It's on our Facebook page. We'll chat more about that at the end of the program. But thanks for listening on a Thursday. It's the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program brought to you by BillionAuto.com. If you're looking to buy a car, they have a bunch of them. Maybe a billion. No guarantees on that. But I will guarantee you'll find a lot of cars at BillionAuto.com.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
The physical courtroom may be a thing of the past if Virginia's College of William and Mary has their way.
Virginia's College of William and Mary.
Yeah.
Okay.
College of William and Mary. It's in Virginia. You've never heard of that?
No.
Oh, it's been around forever. It's one of the oldest colleges in our nation. What is funny about that?
I don't know. It just sounds ridiculous to me.
I wonder what their mascot is. Is there a William and Mary? I don't know. Its Courtroom 21 project predicts that the virtual courtrooms will be a thing of the future, with a holographic internet video conferencing used to bring together jurors, judges, witnesses, and defendants rather than transporting everybody to the same room. So in other words, this would be like cyber court.
Yeah.
You'd just be sitting in front of a screen, paying attention. I already hate it. I think that it, in theory, makes sense, but I can tell you, you and I do this program where you sit over there and I sit over here, and you have your own computer now.
Yep.
And for those of you who have listened over the last couple of weeks when we made this new arrangement where she now has her computer in front of her, we'll be talking along, and she's just silent for a minute. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I got an email. Would you please pay attention? So can you imagine if there was a court case going on and your life is on the line and
And the jurors are playing Candy Crush.
Somebody's playing Candy Crush because there's nobody watching them?
Yeah.
I think that could be a bad
but
idea.
I would assume that they can be seen from the other end as well.
I don't know. If that's the case, I saw Speed. Remember that movie? Just loop a picture of you nodding your head, and that's you. Meanwhile, you're out mowing the lawn. Time for a break. Juror 7, you can go now. And you just nodded. Juror 7, you can go. Juror 7, are you okay? He's nodding affirmative.
Goodness.
It's like he's not paying attention. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. It is a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club.
I use their razors, and I absolutely love them. And if you would like to try some razors and get a little special discount and get me a little extra credit, check out dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall. I love their razors. I use them all the time.
I've tried to use them. He won't let me touch them.
Yeah, leave my razors alone. Get your own razors. They're dirt cheap. Go check them out. dollarshaveclub.com/BigJohnSmall, and you're going to absolutely love them.
Again, this portion of the program brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I've heard of them. They're famous. That's right, Mike. They are.
Have you ever been late for a job interview?
No.
I don't think I've ever been late for a job interview. I've been late for other things.
It's a bad idea to be late for a job interview.
Not always. Take a listen to this. Shelley Klug knows that it's extremely important to be on time for an interview, but she thinks she had a pretty good excuse for being late. You ready?
Okay.
She was saving somebody's life.
Oh, wow.
She was on her way to an interview for an emergency room job when she saw a woman's car crash into a pickup. Shelley grabbed her medical kit. She crawled inside the car. She stabilized the woman's neck. She kept her air passage open until the emergency crews could arrive. But get this, a spokesperson for the hospital says it is still too early to tell whether or not Shelley will get a job in the ER. Really? I think she's qualified for it.
Well, but I'm sure they were interviewing lots of people.
I'm sure they
just
were.
Because she stopped on the side of the road to help somebody doesn't mean that she's the one that's going to get the job.
But do you think she should have stopped and helped somebody?
Oh,
or should
absolutely.
I
and
think
they're not
so
saying
too.
that she's disqualified
No,
for
not at all.
helping. They're just saying we don't know yet.
But you never know. Sometimes there's knucklehead rules out there, like the dude that was working at a 7-Eleven, and he didn't give the robber the money. Instead, stopped the attack, and he was fired for doing so.
Yeah.
You never know. There's some dumb rules out there. You never know if she'll get it or not. All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow for a Friday edition of the John and Heidi Show. For those of you who are listening on our podcast, stick around. We have a bonus break coming your way. For those of you listening on the radio, we've got some music coming your way. For those of you listening on your toaster, how did you make that work? Isn't that crazy? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. All right, those radio people are gone. And the toaster people, too. I'm not exactly sure how they make that work.
Good Lord.
I know. She tells me every day when we get done with this program, you are such a dork. I should get a shirt made that says, I am such a dork. All right, you ready for this over here?
I am ready.
18-year-old Matthew Rosenberg of Santa Cruz, California, called his mom on a cell phone to say he'd gotten lost while hiking in the mountains, and he tripped and he broke his leg.
Oh.
That's no good. A $10,000 rescue effort was launched. Matthew was located and safe and sound. In fact, his leg wasn't even broken. He had apparently swallowed some hallucinogenic mushrooms and dropped some acid, apparently.
Oh, what an idiot.
He thought his leg was broken. The fire captain described him as really gorked. Is gorked? Does that mean
I have no idea
stoned?
what gorked means.
All right.
I've never heard that word.
His dad said Matthew will be punished and probably won't get the use of a car for a while. Oh, and we're going to break his leg just for good measure.
Why is he not in jail if he took
I don't know.
acid?
He's 18. It's in Santa Cruz, California. I have no clue. But it was a $10,000 rescue effort, which is good because if the guy was
I'm
hurt,
glad they found him, but if it's his own fault, he should have to pay that back,
Yeah,
I
it should-
believe.
yeah, it should be something.
if it was because of him and his own negligence, he should have to pay that back.
yeah, there should. He should at least be, doing some jail time if it's what he was doing was
community
illegal.
service or something. I mean, put the kid to work.
All right. Do I have time for one more?
Sure.
Do you have time? Do you have somewhere to run right now?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. Because I have so much stuff that I've been finding. And that's why we came up with this idea for this bonus break. I have no idea if anybody's ever heard this. You know what we'll do? Let's give away some tickets to Boston.
Okay.
Not the city, the concert. We've got Shellabration in Fort Dodge, Iowa. If you're listening to the bonus break, send an email to john@sunnyradio.com. In the subject line, just put Boston tickets. And if you send one over, we have 50 tickets. So we'll give a pair to everybody. So the first 25 that send an email, you're going to get them. So there you go. We'll see how many people are listening to the bonus break here. And I've got one quick little story here. Here's an idea American men should definitely take from the Japanese men. It's called the Japanese Doting Husbands Association. They're trying to get workaholic Japanese men to give their wives a little more attention. They started a website where husbands can write apologies to their wives. One wrote, "I'm sorry I had a car accident. I'm sorry I'm away on so much on business trips. I'm sorry I end up sleeping at the office so often." They also proclaimed that one day last week as Beloved Wives Day. So they're going to have that every year. They urge men to thank their wives and to get home from work by no later than 8 p.m. 8 p.m. around here. If you're still at work at 8 p.m., and I know there are times that I am
Oh, yeah.
still
I was
at
going
work.
to say, don't even say.
But I'm saying that I'm a weirdo. I get it. I know that I'm weird. But they have such an epidemic in Japan that it's a national thing.
That is insane.
All right. We still haven't come up with a way to end this program,
No.
have we? How about we just...
okay.
Oh, hey, let's see what this button does.